story about a man who lived in a small village, and he had a great appreciation for trees. He loved them. He loved their majesty. He loved their shade. He loved the fruits which they bore, sometimes the flowers. And one day, he was long in years, and he decided that he was going to plant a carob tree. And he found a great spot near a stream of water. He cared for it diligently, put his heart and soul into taking care of this tree. And people who knew him came to him and they said, you're putting so much effort into this tree, but the thing is, you're not 20 anymore. You will never see the fruits of your labor. So why are you doing this? And he answered, I plant this tree not for myself, but for the future generations. Because just as those who planted before me trees for my benefit, so too am I now planting for those who will come after me. Now it reminds me of the lesson we learn in the upcoming Torah reading about Moses. He was about to die. God brings him up to Mount Nebo. And despite all the sacrifices and dedication of Moses, he wasn't allowed to enter the promised land to see the fruits of his labor. God said to him, from this mountain, look afar and you will see. And so many of us think it's unfair. In this generation, boy, would we think it's unfair, because we think life is all about us. Everything we do has to have an instantaneous response for the positive. We're so arrogant and selfish that we leave no room for thoughts of others, or God for sure. But we don't realize that we are just playing a part. We are not the entire part. We are not the entire play. And therefore, everything we do has an agenda to serve ourselves. We think the world revolves around us. And you know what? In some way it does. It revolves around us to save it for everyone else, to elevate it for everyone else. The Talmud teaches actually, if you save a single life, it's as if you save the entire world. And that gives you a lot of power. The whole world depends on you. The whole world depends on me. What are you doing with all that power? Moses was the greatest prophet who ever lived. Why? Because it wasn't all about him. He was ready to have his name taken out of the Torah for everyone else. You see, I don't know about you, but I'm grossed out and troubled by this generation of selfies, a generation that captures moment after moment, posturing the self in every fancy way. And my question is, what are you doing between all those pictures? Who are you between every snapshot? We're just collecting phony likes and emojis for Photoshop pictures. It's one big lie. But who among us today is planting trees to ensure that the world is left a better place once we're gone? And I think the bigger challenge now is make sure you don't destroy the world while you're here. We place so much importance on our legacies, but unfortunately it's, what am I leaving my children? The house, the money, the bank account, the stocks? Just let's say all that's spent. What's left of you, of your kids? Once all that money is gone, or the investments, or the building, or the business, what's left? Anything that has eternal value? What you have is what you give away of yourself, what you teach your children. We've all heard the phrase, son of a bee, in either direction, after the mom, after the dad. Your kids are carrying over something. What are they carrying? That you taught them how to cheat and lie and to manipulate people and use them and abuse them? And the second they can't do anything for them anymore, you block them, you delete them, you throw them in the garbage? Is that the generation that we're building? Or we're building a generation where you teach your children how this world has been improved because I've walked this land. I'm leaving behind a legacy of kindness, of love, of compassion, of mitzvot, of good deeds, of carrying on the word of God. What type of torch are we passing? Because it doesn't seem like a torch of light. It seems more like a sword. Let's kill anybody and slash them out of our lives if they get in the way. Selfishness is really the opposite to the use and the meaning of the five senses with which God created man. Because when you're selfish, you have no eyes for what the other person is going through. When you're selfish, you can't hear the cries of your brother. You don't smell the stench of your own injustice. or have a dry tongue knowing the thirst of your brother. We have no heart to feel someone's pain and to reach out to them in comfort because it's all about me. What do you mean you're suffering? It doesn't involve me. Why should I care? It's like you're in my way with all your problems. Don't bug me. You're interfering with my agenda. In the Torah, it's written that a man is actually like a tree. And just as a tree sustains for man and provides for people, shelters them, feeds them, we too are responsible for nurturing and caring for our environment, for sure, for our community, for our children, our family members, our friends, and for future generations, because we can't poison this habitat and expect to thrive and survive. Cultivate the garden within your midst. Nobody will put poison on a flower or a plant that they wanted to grow. Well, the world functions in the same way. Stop poisoning humanity with your own greedy, avaricious appetites to steal people's luck, to steal people's life, to steal people's money, to slice them and dice them and chop them up and throw them in the river because their usefulness has expired. Because you could be sure about one thing. Some call it karma. In Judaism, we call it midah keneged midah, a measure for a measure. God is just. God is true. You will get what is coming to you. It's not about a Game of Thrones that people used to watch many years ago. It's not about winning. It's about bringing everybody up with you. Not how many bodies and bones you can step up and step onto until you reach the throne. Shabbat Shalom.